Welcome. I am Jennifer Bartlett, Project Scientist for the Astrophysics Data System, which is expanding to become the SciXplorer, which will cover not just the astronomy and astrophysics content that we have been known for over 30 years, but also heliophysics, planetary science, earth science, and the biological and physical sciences, essentially human spaceflight. We are very excited to be covering all of NASA science. But to cover that science, we also cover all of the science and the tech reports and the conference proceedings and the material that those papers reference. That is everything that would be of interest to researchers in that field, which means we cover an awful lot of general physics material. In fact, all of the major physics journals, all of the APS publications are a wonderful resource for physicists as well, even if you are not in our specific disciplines. If you've tried ADS and found it useful, then you will find SciXplorer, which is intended to be interdisciplinary and to facilitate finding things across multiple disciplines, much more useful. You'll want to check us out. If you haven't played around with ADS, check out SciXplorer. It has all of this content waiting to be discovered and to support your research. When you come to SciXplorer, we encourage people to select a discipline, and that drop-down box is in the upper left-hand corner. This is intended to customize the interface and the results for one of our topical disciplines. If you are not a researcher in those areas, selecting no specific discipline will mean that all papers are ranked equally, at least from a topical level, and it will simply be how well things match your specific inquiry. And that should serve your needs well. Then, when you go to the search bar, you can begin your query. You can use a quick field. There's a list of most commonly used fields for searches. There's author and date. Everyone does those. They know what they want. They're looking for it. But also a variety of fields for doing more exploratory searches, looking for a concept, looking for a term. Then there's a drop-down menu which gives you all of the fields that we support search in, or you can simply type things into the search bar and see what it brings you. But you will find that by using fields, you have greater control over your results, and you can build up fairly complex queries by combining fields in that search bar. When you get a long list of results, there are a series of filters along the left side that allow you to refine your results even further. And within those filters, if there's a lot of choices, those filters are searchable. So they pop up and give you a dialog box, and you can go through them and find the specific terms that you want to limit your search to or exclude from your search. Once you have found the paper that interests you, or maybe it's a data set, maybe it's software, maybe it's a proposal, because we index all of those things, not just the published literature, then that abstract record is a jumping off place for even further exploration. We match preprints to publisher's version of record to get you to the full text. If there is software or data associated with that item, we link to that as well to get you to the tools so that you can understand that research or build upon it. You can look at the metrics to see how influential that item has been. You can see what papers have cited that, who has been using that work, or what the references are, what was used to build that particular research output. And there are quick cut and paste citations, as well as fairly complex options for exporting citations. Even custom versions are available. If you have a series of papers that interest you, going back to the results menu, you can further explore them using the Explore menu on the top right of your results. And that gives you access to a series of visualizations that can help you think about the literature in a different way. Among them is the paper network, which will help you narrow your topic by showing subtopics within the collection of papers. It can also suggest papers that maybe you need to add to your literature search, things that the papers you are referring to know about, but you do not. You can also do a results graph that shows you the influence of these papers and their citation rates over time to help you pick out some of the more influential papers out of perhaps the noise, or a way of selecting which ones to read first. On the lower half of the Explore menu, there are some other operators that are also helpful. One is the Reviews operator, and that takes the papers that you have selected and it looks at all of the papers that have cited those. So it's taking a step back from those that you have selected and giving a higher level view of the topic you have selected, or a review. Going the other direction, Useful takes the papers that you have selected and looks at their references, trying to pull out what was useful to the authors who wrote those papers, and can help you identify foundational work, background papers, data sets, models, and software. Another strength of SciX is its access to the historical literature. So it is a place to read foundational papers. We have hundreds of thousands of papers before 1930 in the physics collection, including some that go back to the 17th century. Because we are committed to open science, we model those processes, and you can find our data sets and models on Hugging Face, and you have access to those resources as well. And you can use our API in your code to access our resources. At the bottom center of the poster, there's a QR code that leads you to other resources that will help you use SciX effectively in your own research and to find what you are looking for. But I welcome you to come by our booth in the Hyatt. We are next to the NASA booth, and I would be delighted to give you a demo of this resource and show you how it can effectively help you as a physicist as well. Thank you so much.